CrackBerry.com.
Hey everybody, Blaze here for CrackBerry.com and Mobile Nations. As you can see, sitting here in front of me is of course my BlackBerry PlayBook, but some keen eyes at home may notice that the BlackBerry PlayBook is actually sitting on top of something. You can just barely see it from underneath. So if we go ahead and lift it up, you'll find the 7.9-inch Apple iPad mini under there. Now what we're going to do is go ahead and take a quick look at the hardware on the BlackBerry PlayBook in comparison to the hardware on the iPad mini itself. Most people should know what the BlackBerry PlayBook has by now, but just in case you don't, we're going to take a look at both of them and show you what you get. Starting off with some of like the subtle differences and some of the not so subtle differences. Like for example, the screen here, you can see that the screen on the iPad mini itself is a little bit larger. You can also see that the bezels on the BlackBerry PlayBook are a little bit larger. I'm kind of at a standstill as to whether or not that's a good thing or a bad thing, because on the iPad mini your thumbs kind of get in the way of reading, but on the BlackBerry PlayBook they you know, you can, whether you're holding it in portrait or whether you're holding it in landscape, it doesn't really matter. It just seems to work that way. But we'll go through some of it here, starting with the BlackBerry PlayBook itself. So let's go ahead and move this out of the way. On the BlackBerry PlayBook, on the front you do have your 2 stereo speakers. Some people may find that it actually gets in the way, but I think that's still pretty much the best spot for speakers. A lot of people put them on the back or on the bottom or on the sides, but still on the front seems to be the best spot for them. And the BlackBerry PlayBook plays audio pretty well, so that's one thing that you get on the front there. You also have your front-facing camera. You also have your notification light up top, aside from the additional notifications that you get in the corner here. That would also display red. Flipping to the bottom of the device, you have your standard micro USB charger, you have your HDMI port, you also have your dock charger for rapid charging on there. To the top you have your power button, you have your volume up and down buttons, and you have your play and pause button, your media control button, and of course you have the 3.5mm headphone jack up there as well. Flipping to the back, one of my favorite things about the PlayBook is actually the soft touch finish on the back. It allows you to go ahead and get a better grip on the tablet itself so that you're not necessarily dropping it or anything like that. Allows you to hang on to it. The rubbery material is much preferred over the smoother back of the iPad mini, which I'll show you here in a few seconds. But on the back you also have your rear-facing camera as well. So that's pretty much all it is for the BlackBerry PlayBook. You know, standard chargers, HDMI port, front-facing camera, rear-facing camera, nice set of speakers. Your power controls can actually be displayed on screen as well, so that's a nice touch for it. So that's it for the BlackBerry PlayBook. Let's have a look at the iPad mini here. We'll just go ahead and flip it on. Slide to unlock. Now again, with those bezels, as you can see, the bezel on the side is a little bit thinner in comparison to the BlackBerry PlayBook. So when you're opening up like a book or something like that and you're trying to read it, your thumbs are kind of like on the screen itself. Now Apple has implemented some software to detect whether or not you're meaning to touch the screen, but it seems to work. But I've noticed in some cases that I don't necessarily want to go ahead and move my thumb around all that much, so I find a lot of times that I actually use it in landscape more than portrait, but it seems to work. One of the other things that you'll notice, I don't know if you guys can actually see it up here, but there is a front-facing camera right there, and you have your home button down here. On the bottom we have the speakers and the lightning port. So you're not getting a standard USB charger, you have to use the Apple proprietary lightning cable, and your speakers down here. Again, with those speakers, the placement of the speakers, sometimes you're going to find that it does get a little bit muffled due to the placement of them on the bottom. If you flip to the side, you have your volume rocker up here. On the side you have your mute switch as well, which is fairly tiny, and it also locks it. And up top you have your power button, and you have your 3.5mm headphone jack there as well. Now if you look to the back of the device, you have your rear facing camera up here, and you have this, I don't want to say soft touch finish because it doesn't necessarily feel like that. It's actually a smooth finish, and I find it kind of slippery to actually hold on to. It's not really the best. I would have preferred if like Apple had used something a little bit more grippy to hang on to, but you know, the only spot that you can really grip onto it is on the Apple logo itself. But given how light the device is, I really wish that they would have gone ahead and used some material that it would be better to hang on to, because like I say, it is light, it is thin, and I could potentially see me throwing it on my couch or dropping it at some point in time. So if you're picking one up, you probably want to grab a case or something from iMore as soon as it gets in there. But that's pretty much it for the Apple iPad mini in comparison to the BlackBerry PlayBook hardware. Overall, if you're an iOS person, chances are you're not going to be switching over to the BlackBerry PlayBook at any point in time, but at least you know what the differences are between the two devices. So yeah, that's it. Blaze out. Take care.